Oh, there he is. There he is. I see your penny icon, man. You got that penny next to your name. That's so dope. Well, first of all, thank you, brother. And I'll wait a little bit before I give the official thank you, but I appreciate that. What's going on, Sammy B, SM Lover? Hey, time traveler in the house. Time traveler in the house. I'm just fixing my crown here. What's going on, Mike and Nebula? Good to see you guys. Damn, some of my regulars. I love it. Yeah, I gotta adjust the crown a little bit. My head must have got bigger. Burger King. No, not Burger King, just the King. I gotta put like a different logo on here, right? Let's see. I guess it is the Burger King. I can't deny that. There we go. That's a better fit. That looks better. What's going on, Norman? Harris? What's up, Michael B? How are you guys? Let me make some adjustments real quick here. Let me fix this guy right here. Oh, speaking of music, I know I still owe you a verse, but I have to say I really like the verse. Like, I wrote it, and I'm like, this is pretty dope. I hope Sammy B enjoys it. What's going on, everybody that's just coming in? Don't forget to smash that like button as soon as you come in. That way, just lets people know what's going on. What is what? So hit that like button like it owes you money. All right, let's see. What about Pimp Saxon? Maybe. Chile, what's going on, Vladimir? You said you'd be here, and here you are. Kevin, Shorty, what is up? A $sign with an X on it. So, well, I'll wait till we get a few more people in here. Just hit that like button. Thank you, Isaiah. Appreciate it. So, oh wait, all right. Well, hold on. We got a question right here. So the question I wanted to reserve is, what is the best rivalry in my entire career? So, let me start with that question. That's a really good question. And then I'm going to jump into an announcement. An announcement that I'm pretty proud of. So, biggest rivalry of my career would have to be against a guy called Christian Cruz, which if you look back in my YouTube channel, I often faced this guy named Christian Cruz. We battled pretty much all up and down the East Coast, from New York to Pennsylvania to New Jersey to North Carolina, all over the place. And he's a longtime friend of mine, so that would be my biggest rival of all time, for sure. They said you knew it. Yeah, that's the answer. Christian Cruz. It's got to be. All right, Ember Moon is back. Absolutely. I'm excited about that. I was kind of hoping she'd come back as the She-Nom. I really like that warrior style for her. But she kind of has come back in like a post-apocalyptic Mad Max sort of way, which is kind of cool. I mean, she's great in the ring, so let's see what she does with it. Don't forget to smash that like button, like, bam! As soon as you walk in here, hit it. Hit just like that. Honk, honk. Hit that like button like it owes you money. All right, let's see what else you guys got here. How did you affect the cheapest program? Oh, you mean like how do I think it impacted my career? Honestly, good. I would say good overall. There was a lot of negatives that came along with it, but to me, if I didn't do that, Extreme Cheapskates, then I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now, right? That's just the way I look at it. So it led me up into this point, and I think my life is all right. I think it's pretty good. Let's see. The guy from me, have you ever won a match? Michael B, I think he's actually won recently, like maybe this past week. Him and Luther in a tag match against two other people, which I can't even think of who it is off the top of my head. Kevin Shorty wants to know, if I were rich, would I still be cheap? Yeah, probably. I'm one of those people, like, if someone's like, $1 million, what are you going to do? And I think smart, I'm like, pay off all my bills, pay off where I live, save. I don't have like, I'm not someone who's like, oh, here's $1 million. Are you going to go buy a Lamborghini? Nah, I don't think so. No. Not at all. Not at all. What's going on, Heel Feck? Please do something fun, Matt. You mean like at this very moment? Like something fun like right now? Is this not fun for you? Are you not having a good time? Are you not enjoying yourself? I have a couple of announcements to make in a little bit. We're just about hitting the 5-minute mark here. I'll wait just a little bit longer. I'll answer some of your questions, and then I'll go into the 2 announcements. Let's see. Underrated Mike, who said, who is the best heel on Raw and who is the best heel on SmackDown? Definitely SmackDown. Roman Reigns is doing his thing. On Raw, you got to go with Randy Orton. I think it's very obvious, those two. But, yeah, they're killing it right now. Who was the most popular wrestler I ever faced? Ooh, let me think. I faced Nunzio. I faced Maria Kanellis. She was really popular. Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Tito Santana, Nikolai Volkov, Jim the Anvil Neidhart. So take your pick. I would say one of those guys for sure. SM Lover wants to know, have I broken any bones? Thankfully, no. I've only had one injury, and it wasn't even that bad. I took a forearm to the jaw, and my tongue was like in between my teeth, and I smashed it. And as soon as I got hit, I felt this like pool of blood in my mouth. It was so intense, and it just came pouring down my face and my neck, and everyone in the crowd was like, ugh. Actually, my mom talks about that moment a little bit. If you watch the Freeway to Success episode 6, she tells from her perspective that story, which I thought was awesome. But yeah, she was always very worried about me in the ring. Harris says, I am a fun person. I try, man. I try to be animated. I try to be fun for you guys. Honestly, I don't even try. It's just kind of who I am as a person. I'm just really silly. Who is my best tag team partner? So, Supergroup. I had one tag team partner that was like a consistent tag team partner. His name was Tristan Law. And together we were the Law of Attraction. And if you look back at some of my old YouTube matches, you'll definitely see him on there quite a bit. Law of Attraction was a pretty dope team. I really enjoyed the work that we were doing together. So maybe one day we'll have a little reunion. I think he'd be cool with that. Isaiah wants to know, what do you think about Kenny Omega and Hangman Page both being the AEW in the tournament? Truthfully, I like Kenny Omega. I think he's done great work, but I would really like to see Hangman Page. Hangman Page to me is someone that I can see easily being in WWE and just like that, like killing it, because he has that really like cool cowboy gimmick, like JBL, but way better. He's like a cool JBL. And I used to think it was really cool when he would go up to the fans and be like, you know, hold my beer, or just kind of grab someone's beer and start drinking it. But I guess in this day and age, maybe that's not the best thing to do, right? Mulalo, what's going on, man? Yes, when you guys come in, make sure you Hulk smash that like button. Hit it like it owes you money. Bam, bam, bam. Let's see. Mulalo wants to know if I'm excited for the draft tomorrow. My honest answer is not really. Not really. I feel like they've had 8 drafts in this last 2 years. Like, there's been so many drafts, and then they had the wild card rule and the superstar brand invitation. I'm just like, why are you guys even bothering with the draft if people are just going to show up wherever they want, whenever they want, right? What's the point? Let's see. Heel says Mustafa Ali is going to be on top. So, as far as Mustafa Ali goes, I think it's great that he has this new opportunity for himself. I still need to see it. I got to see the magic. I haven't seen any magic from him yet in any sort of, way at all. I mean, and his wrestling's pretty good, but if I were to compare him versus Ricochet, so he has to really impress me on the mic. He has to sell me on this character. So I'll give it some time. I'm still, keep an open mind despite the crown keeping everything in. My mind is open. Time Traveler asked a good question. Do I think NXT should be involved in the draft? Yeah, I do. I feel like there's certain people that it's their time to move up, and I think it would be cool if certain people went to NXT. So someone that I think needs to get off the NXT roster is definitely Rhea Ripley. I think she's she could become a 2-time champ, but I just don't see really the point. I almost feel like she should be the one to take the belts off of Bayley. Let's see. Do I want Wade Barrett back in the ring? I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind if Wade Barrett wrestled again, Mike. I think he had a lot of potential. Now, Wade Barrett is someone who had charisma leaking off of him. He could cut a promo so easily. I remember back when NXT first started, they did this little thing where they gave them a word, and they were like, think of a promo based on this one word, and they gave him the word wind, and he was like, the winds of change are coming and blowing through NXT, and I was just like, all right, okay, I see you. You're good at this. You're natural at it. To me, and you guys might think I'm crazy. It's more important in wrestling that you can entertain and be an okay wrestler than not be able to entertain and be a great wrestler. I'll give you an example. There's way more of a chance that they'll use Santino again after he retires than they'll use Paul London. You know what I mean? And that might sound messed up, but it's true. There's way more of a chance that they'll push Santino over Shelton Benjamin. You know what I mean? If you can entertain, that's big. To me, you have to be able to, or you're not going to get that far. Um, Michael B says, do I think Keith Lee is going to SmackDown? I don't care where Keith Lee goes. Well, obviously not back to NXT. I just want him to do more. Like, they're having this Braun Strowman feud, and I'm like, I can care less about this. So, whatever Keith Lee does, I hope they just put him in a really good spot. Vladimir, if I'm too late, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you soon. The biggest venue I ever wrestled in. Nebula, you got some good questions, bro. Good questions. So the biggest venue I ever wrestled in is, what is the name of it? FCU Park? Something like that. It's in Brooklyn. It's where the Brooklyn Cyclones play. And I think it holds up to 15,000 people, but they cut off like the back sections of it. And I think there was maybe 3,000 to 4,000 people there. So that was also the biggest crowd I ever wrestled in front of. But yeah, it's a huge stadium over by Coney Island. All right. Let's see. Have I ever worked with Mustafa Ali? I have not. Heelfeck? I have not. Let's see. How do I save money and have so many Funko Pops? Great question. And my response to you is very simply, I have a video called My Funko Pop Collection on my channel. You should check it out because I talk about where all of these pops come from. And the truth is, what the heck happened to this guy? Oh, I see. It was the Fiend. He's over there. Sometimes he sneaks around. But yes, watch that video, and I do explain where a lot of these pops came from. A lot of times people get it from me. I have a recording studio in here where it's just, part of the way I make money. And a lot of times people are like, hey, man, I was in the store, and I came to record, so I got you a pop. Or my cousin comes to visit from Florida, and he gets me a few pops. My mom, a lot of times for gifts, people just get me pops. They associate me with pops, so it's just something I've kind of grown a collection of. Christian Reeve, what's going on? Let's see. Sammy B's got the answers. All right. So as soon as I catch up on some of these questions, I have some announcements. Let's see. JBL is a bully. Yeah, I hear that a lot. You know what? I hear that a lot, but I have to say this. I've met JBL. I've actually done a training with JBL, and he wasn't a bully. So, and I'm not saying he, maybe he's a bully other times, but he wasn't a bully that day at least. So he was pretty cool. Very helpful too. Isaiah says, I want Wardlow to win the tournament. Wardlow, I think, has a lot of potential. I mean, he has a great look, great size. Someone that I feel like should be getting pushed in AEW is one of my personal favorites, the Machine, Brian Cage. I feel like he's the total package. He could fly. He's jacked as hell. He's got a good look from like haircut to facial hair. I feel like on the mic, I don't think he's had many opportunities to show what he can do on the mic, like in a long storyline. So I'd be curious to see more, but that's one of my personal favorites. All right. So Roman Reigns, the Shield. I'm not sure if that's a question, but I love what Roman Reigns is doing. Let's see here. I'm just playing catch up. Okay, Isaiah says Robert Roode back to NXT. Maybe. I'm a big Bobby Roode fan. Like, when I used to watch Impact Wrestling regularly, I would say there's two wrestlers that I think can make it in WWE just like that. And it surprises people, my answer. The first one won't surprise anybody. It was AJ Styles. As soon as I saw AJ Styles, I was like, this guy has something special. This guy has the it factor, and a lot of people don't have the it factor, but AJ Styles did. And look at him now. A lot of people think, oh, AJ Styles, he's been in the company for so many years. I'm like, no, he's only been in the company for a few years, and he's already a WWE Hall of Famer, which is amazing, which is incredible when you think about that. But the other person was Bobby Roode. I've always preferred Bobby Roode as someone who kind of was more in touch with his rugged side over his flamboyant side. We see him dressed like Rick Rude a lot. He has, the whole Ric Flair robe, and he's just kind of like flamboyant, but I feel like he doesn't look flamboyant. It doesn't match with his look. He looks rugged. Now, that made sense back in the day with Rick Rude, but that doesn't really make sense now. So I feel like I would like to see a more aggressive, a little more serious Robert Roode. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's do a hug through the screen. Are you feeling the love? I hope that worked for you. What's going on, Omar? Let's see. Mulalo says Sasha Banks will win the SmackDown Women's Championship. So, you know what? I would like it if she did. So, Mulalo, I agree. Oh, Michael B says, do I think Ricochet is going back to NXT? I'll say this. If he does, they need to put him in the main event spot. That's it. They need to put him in a main event spot. Because to go back and kind of be in the North American spot again, that's not enough. So we'll see. I think someone that will get drafted to a major brand is Velveteen Dream. What else does he have to do, right? Oh, snap. I see a super chat came in. Let's see who it's from. Sammy B. Let's see. Sammy B says, one day I want to meet you and freestyle with you. Absolutely, brother. That would be awesome. That would be very awesome. And while Sammy B is on here, you might notice next to his name, he has this little penny logo. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Sammy B is the very first person to join the Frugal faction. That means he's getting exclusive posts, exclusive pictures. He'll be joining me on getting jacked for Workout Wednesdays. So yeah, congratulations to Sammy B, and thank you very much for being the first member of the Frugal faction. Yeah, super dope. So yeah, you might check out his name, and you'll see the little penny next to his name. That's because Sammy B is the man. I appreciate that, brother. Let me back up a little bit here. So I noticed you guys are asking a lot of questions, which is great, and I'm trying to get to them all. If you want me to get to them a little bit quicker, you can use the super chat or super sticker option. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going back to try to catch up. I see Sammy B's dropping those custom cheap wrestler emojis, which are pretty dope. All right, let's see. If you're just joining us, don't forget to hit that like button like a bam, just like that. You know, real quick. One takes 2 seconds, right? Let's see. What else do we got here? What are my thoughts about Extreme Cheapskates? Out of all of them, I find you completely normal. I appreciate that. You know, a lot of my cheap habits, I didn't really like. How do I put it? I never looked at myself as being a cheap person until I lived with a roommate who was like, dude, you can't just like put, 50 empty water bottles in the fridge just to save water bottles. I'm like, well, why not? He's like, because it's disgusting. They're all crumbled up and messed up. And that's just an example, just one example. The tissues thing, I had really bad allergies, and I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. I was thinking I need to save some money. Mulalo wants to know, do I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling? I do not. I have watched it, but I don't watch it regularly. Do I like the Shorty G gimmick? I hate the Shorty G gimmick. Turn him back to Chad Gable. Pair him with someone else, not Shelton, because Shelton just doesn't have the charisma. But American Alpha was such a dope team. Maybe one day Jason Jordan, a lot of people are recovering from these neck surgeries and these neck injuries. Hopefully, one day he'll be one of them as well. Let's see, who's better, Nexus or Retribution? I'll say this, it's hard to compare because Retribution is still young. They're still in their early stages, so we shall see. We shall see. But right now, if I had to choose one, I would choose Nexus. What is the biggest promotion I've wrestled for? Ooh, that would probably be Northeast Wrestling, which a lot of people have heard of Northeast Wrestling, even if they're not from the Northeast. So if you aren't familiar, check them out. Northeast Wrestling, also known as NEW. Raven Boy, what's up? Mulalo says, I am Sister Abigail. Well, that's interesting. Damian Walker, I'm doing well, brother. How are you? How do I feel about the Fiend and Alexa Bliss storyline? So I'm liking where it's going. I'm a big Alexa Bliss fan. I'm a Fiend fan. So I'm curious to see where they go with it. And I hope it leads to Alexa winning a title one day. I hope it's not one of those things where she's just in like a hypnosis and maybe helps Bray or the Fiend win matches. I hope she actually, under this dark character, pursues her own career as well. Just for at least a little while. Let's see. Have I ever tried out for Ring of Honor or CCW? I have not. I've always been nervous about CCW because I know sometimes they do a lot of like deathmatch stuff, and that is not my thing whatsoever. But I know it's also not all the time. So when I return, let's just say that's one of the promotions I'm looking at already. The worst wrestler I've worked. Oh, let me think. The worst wrestler I've worked was this guy who was very, very out of shape. And I can't even tell you his name. But he can barely move. Like, me lifting him up took like half an hour. I'm like, and the crowd's watching me struggle to like get him up. And It was just a disaster. The whole thing was a disaster. I would hit the rope. He wouldn't even be standing up yet. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Why don't you have better cardio? Because there's nothing wrong with being a big guy. Because there's plenty of big guys who can move. I mean, we see it all the time. But this guy was big and out of shape. So the whole thing was just like, I was like dying. I was sweating so much. I was like gasping for air because I was doing all of the work. Do I want Rhino to go to AEW? I feel like Rhino is starting to get to the point where he's at the tail end of his career. His heyday is over. So honestly, it doesn't matter to me. I really don't think it matters to me. But I am a Rhino fan. So just throwing that out there. Let's see. You telling me the Cowboy James Storm wouldn't make it in WWE? I think he would. I think it'd be cool if they paired him and Robert Roode and they revived Beer Money. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Let's see. Camille wants to know, am I still cheap? Yes. 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 Will you fight Goldberg for 10,000? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Would I fight Goldberg for $10,000? Hell yeah. Now, if you said Brock Lesnar, my answer would be hell yeah, as long as the hospital bills are also covered. He would be someone I'd be concerned about. Do I like The Miz? Yeah, I like The Miz at the time that he was like the champion because he was one of the best talkers on the mic. He was obnoxious, he was slick, and he was really doing his thing. I still like The Miz, but he's not like a top 10 for me. Do I think TJP is going to get a push in Impact? I don't know. Maybe for like the X Division title again, but he's someone else. I don't really see that it fact. Almost like a Mustafa Ali. I got to see a little bit more from him for me to really be sold, you know? Let's see. The Major Levy or Levi wants to know if I still save money. I do. To the best of my ability, yes. Yes, absolutely yes. I don't spend much, despite how I might look in here, which we've been through that a few times already. I do not spend a lot of money. I'm a guy who just likes his t-shirts. I don't really like material things. I don't drive a fancy car, you know? So, yeah, I definitely like spending money. I'm not a materialistic person. This is the craziest looking room in my whole house, and that's why I do these things in here. Because this is my recording studio, which is a big, you know, money maker for me. I come here, artists come to record, and, yeah. And I engineer their music. Let's see. 4 says, is it weird about The Miz and Morrison trying to take the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis? So let's talk about that. Do you guys feel like Otis should keep his Money in the Bank briefcase? See, I feel like they shouldn't have made him the Money in the Bank to begin with. Otis was over. Like, people loved Otis. And he's great. He was a great comedy act. I just think maybe they should have had him go for like the US or IC title or obviously a tag team title. But world title? No, at least not yet. Let's see. What are my thoughts about Extreme Cheapskates? About the show in general or about my episode? My episode, it was all right. You know, looking back at it, I'm like, oh, yeah. But it was okay. You know, it is what it is. Let's see. Nebula said, please don't let this question go out of frame again. You see, I'm really behind on the questions, but I'm doing my best to catch up. I want to try to get to everybody. Let's see. Considering James Storm is supposed to debut for WWE, yes, Beer Money, absolutely. See, I'm probably late to that. You probably said that so long ago. Cursed said, show us your tissues. I actually don't have piles of tissues anymore. That's something that I retired. I do have a handkerchief, which isn't with me in the moment, but it's upstairs somewhere. Yeah, I don't dry out my tissues anymore. I don't do that. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I won't talk about politics on here. Let's see. Gabe, what's going on? Norman. All right, so Norman, if you go to my channel, you'll see there's next to the subscribe button, there's a button that says join. Click that button. There's a bunch of details on there. Check them out. If it sounds good to you, you just continue the process. But Norman, I would love to see you part of the Frugal faction. You've been a follower for a long time. I appreciate that. So let me know if you decide to join, because we're looking for members. We're recruiting for the Frugal faction. I'm trying to make this like YouTube's NWO. I want us to walk into a room and people are like, oh, snap. The Frugal faction just appeared on this channel. That's trouble. Those guys are trouble. Isaiah, same thing. So yes, if anybody's interested in joining the Frugal faction, Sammy B was the first member, besides myself, obviously. And all you have to do is go on my channel. You'll see subscribe and you'll see join next to that. Click that, read it, and if it sounds good, you become a member. If it sounds not so good, that's okay, because you can still be just a member of this channel, and I appreciate you all the same. Gabe, what's going on? Let's see. Christian Reeve said, what's the worst thing a fan has ever said? I've had fans say some really nasty things to me. I mean, I've had fans, I don't like to curse a lot on this channel. Sometimes it slips, especially if I'm playing a video game or it is a live stream, and sometimes I slip. So I'm going to give you the censored version. I've had fans definitely call me like F you. I've had fans call me the P word, which, you guys will probably know what that is, the P word. So, yeah, I've had some fans call me some pretty nasty things. Let's see. Wreaking Havoc. Wreaking Havoc. What's going on, brother? It's been forever. So Wreaking Havoc just entered the chat. He was somebody that I wrestled with. We never wrestled one-on-one, but ECPW, East Coast Pro Wrestling. Wreaking Havoc was the champ for a long, long time. Definitely did some training together. A really good guy. So Wreaking Havoc, thanks for stopping by, man. Why did I use packing tape on my boots that cost about... So, Wreaking Havoc. The holes of my boots were destroyed. It wasn't that I didn't have laces for them. The holes were completely destroyed. And at the time, I didn't really have money for boots. But you know what? I should have found a way to get money for boots. That's honestly the end result. As far as the rest of my outfit, I know a lot of people are like, why didn't you wear a fancy outfit? But for a lot of times, you don't go to like a training or a tryout with like your glitz and glamour. I mean, maybe I should have packed it, but in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in the ring, roll around a little bit. So I just wore something really comfortable that I usually do trainings with. But so yes, that's why I didn't use laces. I know a lot of people are like, laces are 99 cents, brother. But that's the reason why there was no laces involved, was because I could not use laces. Let's see. Sammy B says, WWE screwed up with Paul London. Yeah, I know. I don't really know the whole story, but I know there's a lot of friction there. So if you know the story, share it with me, because I actually am not sure. Yeah, Nebula, you had a really good questions. Let's see. Yeah, no death matches for me. Was that Hatch Stevens? Is Hatch Stevens in here too, Wreaking Havoc? I know I'm behind on these, so if I'm reading things from a while back, I apologize, but I will get into it. 4 says, you're over your 30s because you've been wrestling over 10 years. Who's telling my secrets? Let's see. Liam says, nice crown. I appreciate him. King of the castle. King of the castle. Matt, what are you doing with the Burger King crown? I'm feeling like a king. I'm feeling like a king. So I'm wearing my crown. Let's see. Undisputed Era versus the Hurt Business. Ooh, that's a really good question for Undisputed Era versus the Hurt Business. I'm actually curious as to what you guys think about that also, but damn, that's actually really good. I'm going to go with Undisputed Era, though. I just feel like we've seen them in sync work together, like tagging in and out and just having these combination moves. So I would have to go with Undisputed Era, but that would be a sweet rivalry. Underrated Mike, do I think EC3 should go to AEW? So I can admit that I have not really seen EC3 in Impact recently, but I saw him beforehand, and he has a ton of potential. Like, I definitely think WWE dropped the ball with him. If they could have found something with him, that would have just been beautiful. They should have paired him with, like, Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, and that would have been good. Let's see. Liam says, aren't your tattoos expensive? Yes, tattoos are very expensive. Luckily, my best friend, well, one of my best friends is a tattoo artist. So a lot of times if he has an idea and he wants to try it out, or I'm like, hey, this is something I'm thinking about getting, he's like, you know what, let me do that for you. So we have a really good bond, and I'm very fortunate to have someone like that really close to me. But he does amazing work. Let's see. When was the first time I considered quitting wrestling? So the very first time was probably... I took a hiatus before Extreme Cheapskates. But I always intended to come back. And then I came back for Extreme Cheapskates and continued on for a while. So there was a little bit of a hiatus before, and definitely a hiatus after that. Is ongoing at the moment. But I'm looking to actually get back into the ring very soon. So wreaking havoc, if you're still here, I'll probably see you sooner than later, brother. You said I don't drive a fancy car. What do I drive? I drive a used Subaru Legacy, which honestly isn't too bad. I actually really like it, but I wanted something used because buying new, like, it's funny. You can go get a car and just someone drive it once off the lot, and the amount of it drops like $5,000, like something ridiculous like that. Otis shouldn't have been money. Yeah, I agree. Should not have been Money in the Bank. Liam, I'll say this real quick. My worst injury, I've luckily never broken any bones, never tore anything, but I took a forearm to the jaw and I pinched my tongue in my teeth, and I was just bleeding so much out of my tongue. I genuinely thought I lost a piece of my tongue. Like, I genuinely thought I lost a piece of my tongue. Did I like the dog collar match? So I have not seen the dog collar match yet. I still have to watch that. I heard the result. I won't say it in case people are, but I have not seen it yet. Christian Reeves says, was Extreme Cheapskates a decent payday? No. I'm going to say no. Like, overall, I look back at that, I'm like, I should have asked for more money. But yeah, no, not really. I'll be honest, I don't remember exactly how much they gave me, but it was less than 500. Yeah. Let's see. How do you get all of those dolls if you're cheap? You don't need to... Wait, what? You don't need to ask the question? Okay, so I'll just say it one more time. For the people in the back, a lot of these are gifts. A lot of my family's like, what do you want? Oh, you know what? We're not even going to ask you. We're going to get you pops. A lot of people who come to the studio to record often bring pops. Like, my cousin came from Florida, and he's like, hey, I got you 3 pops. My sugar mama, every once in a while, she surprises me with pops. She recently, what did she get me? She got me, like, my Pikachu. Well, she got me a bunch. AJ Styles, Chris Jericho, Pikachu. She got me a lot of Pokemon pops that you see up here. So it's usually gifts. That's, like, the main gift that people get me for whatever occasion. Was Extreme Cheapskates real? It was real. A lot of people tend to think that it was not real, but yeah, it was real. I would say the only thing with Extreme Cheapskates to be transparent, it's not so much about like fake or real. It's that they only film for a couple of days. So a lot of they asked me, what do you do that's cheap? So I gave them a list, and they're like, okay, you obviously don't do all these things within 2 days, but we're going to need you to do all these things and show us what that looks like, because we're not going to follow you for a month, So I would say that's the major difference. Anonymous Nebula says I should rename the faction Cheap Chumps. There's a lot of names I thought of, like Penny Pinchers, Cheap Chumps, but my good friend Billy gave me the idea for the Frugal Faction, and I was like, that sounds a little cooler at least. I don't want to call people that follow me or are part of my team Cheap Chumps. You know what I mean? It just sounds like, such a derogatory thing. Norman, I'm glad you'll be joining, brother. Let me know when you do. I'll give you a special shout out, just like I did Sammy B. Sammy B dropping the custom emoji, I see. When you were cheaper, did you not shave? So I usually shaved, but I have to be honest, and this is going to sound gross, Karma. It was very rare that I threw out the razor. Like, let's say you're supposed to use a razor after like every 3 or 4 or 5 times. I'm like, I could use it for a couple of months, right? I know. I'm being honest with you guys here. I'm not proud of everything, but I'm being honest. The Fiend. What's going on, brother? Glad you can make it. Oh, Wreaking Havoc was still here, at least at this point. What's the most impressive move I can do, says Christian Reeve. Here's the truth. I am not one of the most athletic people in the world. At all. I have no problem admitting that. Like, I'm like I think I've compared it before, like an MVP or like a Enzo or like a Santino in the ring. I'm definitely more character than I am athleticism. So to answer that question, it's such a simple move, but I love hitting it. A sunset flip. I know it sounds silly, but that's a move that I really like doing. Let's see, what else? Are you actually cheap like the vids? Okay, I gave that answer. My favorite move, like my favorite wrestling move? I think the pedigree. The pedigree, when you look at it, you're like, damn, that looks like it hurts. And it's one of those moves where obviously Seth Rollins used it, but you're always going to think of Triple H. Just like with the stunner, you're always going to think of Stone Cold. There's certain moves that you're like, no, that's that guy's move. Someone else may adopt it, but it's that person's move. Michael B says, have you ever had an idea on a luchador gimmick? Actually, funny story. When I first started training, they threw a mask on me for like 2 matches. And I was just like, all right, I'll go with it. I'll try it out, whatever. And I hated it. I hated it. There's something about wearing a mask. Like, it just, even just doing this, you'll see like it limits your vision, and not a fan. Also not a fan in general, because I'm like, I'm not someone who should be wearing a mask. It just doesn't fit with me and who I am. Sammy B, yes, thanks for reminding me. Paul London smiled at Vince, yes, on the way to the limo. Yes, thank you. Christian Reeve, great question about the good referee. So, the best referee I've ever been in the ring with was this guy named, I can't remember his name, but it was for a promotion called Elite Generation Wrestling. And he would give me the count. Like, he's like, 2-minute warning, 4-minute warning. If there's anything I needed to know, he was really good about telling me during the match, which is rare. It's rare that referees will actually give you the time count and like where you're at and how much time you have left. And I was just like, damn, this guy's on point. So I really like that. What would my luchador name be? Damn. You know what? I'll have to come back to this question, Christian Reeve, because they gave me a name too, and I just cannot remember what it is. I remember when I was going, ay. It was terrible. It was terrible. Never again. Let's see. What else do we have? 100 subscribers without a video. What's going on? What's going on? The Fiend says, I'm glad you're getting in the ring soon. So am I. I kind of miss it, man. I'm not going to lie. I miss it. And the more I talk to you guys about it, the more I'm like, I got the itch. I got the itch. It's time to go back. Do I like better? I like Sheamus definitely better as a heel. I think he could be a babyface, but I really enjoy his heel work. Joel Maximo smiles. Let's see. Do I think AEW is? I don't think. I'll be honest. I'm not even sure how to pronounce that guy's name. No, I think he's doing exactly where he should be, in my opinion. 500K? No, not 500K. $500, not $500,000. How did I find out about the show Extreme Cheapskates? So I saw an advertisement for it. So at this time I was doing acting stuff, right? And I saw just something. They decided, I guess it wasn't even on an acting page though. I got it like in an email. And I thought about it. I was like, I mean, I'm pretty cheap. That would be funny, right? In my head, there was no part of me that thought they would actually ask me to do it. But I think they liked the wrestling angle. They're like, this would make a unique episode. So they called me right away, and that was it. That's pretty much how that happened. All right, Fiend, have a good one. Okay, I'm reading Wreaking Havoc's thing in 3 weeks. Oh, appreciate that. All right. Maybe I'll be showing up. I'll let you know, Wreaking Havoc. Let's see. Why did I become cheap? I've always been that way. I've always been someone who's very cautious about where my money is going and what I'm doing with it. And I don't like to spend a lot. I feel like, for me, I don't know if I get nervous that one day I'll be in a predicament and I won't have money, but I really feel like that's what it is. But also, I'm also in college right now. So college is really expensive. So I like to make sure that I can take care of myself, you know? Oh, no problem, Merc Sniper. It's just good that you're here. WWE2 says Five Guys is good. I love Five Guys. I unfortunately can't eat it anymore because of my Crohn's disease. But Five Guys is delicious. It's freaking delicious. My stomach hurts just thinking about it. Michael B, do you want to tag with Sin Cara? I would absolutely tag with Sin Cara as long as, he doesn't hurt me. Let's see. Can I download Call of Duty Mobile? So, fact, I have never played a Call of Duty game, and I do not even like first-person shooters. I do not like them. I do not like them, Sam. I do not like green eggs and ham. Let's see. What's the craziest fan chant I've heard while wrestling? I'll be honest, Christian. I don't even think I have like a crazy chant that they. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm sorry. I wish I had a good answer for that. Worst WWE champion ever, the Great Khali. Done. Like, I hated him as the champ. It's terrible. Let's see. What age did I start training and wrestling? I was 18. I think I was 18 years old. And yes, I did spend money on it. Like when I first went in, when I first started wrestling training, it was one of those things where the world didn't really know how to get into wrestling. It wasn't very common. So when I found a place, they were like, "Oh, it's going to be, I think it was like $1,500." So I saved and I saved and I saved, and this was the very first place that I trained at. So I, did it, and it wasn't until a couple of years later that more places started coming out and people became familiar with other places. But yeah, I spent a lot of money on my first wrestling school. Too much money on that particular school. Let's see, what else do we have? Cheapskate having 100 Funkos. I'll give you the Funko thing again. Check out my video, my Funko Pop collection. Check it out before anyone says anything about my Funko Pops. Check out the video, my Funko Pop collection. It'll give the explanation on why I have so many Funko Pops. You know what? Maybe after this, I will post it in the community page. Because yes, I do have a lot. They're gifts from a lot of different people. Let's see. What do I do for work as of now? So I do YouTube. That's one thing. I run a company called Battlezone Barz, which is a hip-hop contest. I do graphic design. I run a recording studio called Pop Filter Studios. And I think that covers pretty much all of it right there. So I have my hand in a lot of different pops. Plus, I make my own music. I didn't even mention that. Let's see. Amy, what's going on, Amy? Who should Roman face next with the title on the line? It looks like they're setting up for The Fiend. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like that's where they're going with it. Norman says, what am I studying in college? I am studying business and marketing. Very boring. But yeah, that's the answer. Business and marketing. So if you guys stay till for like another 10 minutes or so, I have a little bit of an announcement for you guys. But first I'm going to do this. I've been running my mouth. Now I'm hacking up stuff. Don't worry, I'm okay. I don't got the COVID. Let's see. Was I cheap as a kid? Yeah, I would say I was cheap as a kid, and I didn't really do anything specific. I just didn't spend money. Obviously, for a kid, a lot of things come to me, like food and whatnot, clothes. But I didn't like to spend a lot of my own money. Time Traveler says, since I have Crohn's disease, what can I eat? Basically, I'm on a very bland diet. I could eat seafood, but that's a little expensive. So, I would say, chicken, grilled chicken, turkey, certain vegetables, especially if they're soft. I have a lot of smoothies, or I juice. That's something that's kind of new to me. I start juicing stuff. And yeah, it's not very exciting. It's one of those things, I will always talk about it, but I feel like I can't make it sound exciting. Michael B says, who do I... Uh-oh, hold up. Merc Sniper with the super chat. What's going on, Merc Sniper? What do you want to know? I'll have to come back to the rest of your questions because, Merc Sniper, you have the floor, my friend. What could I answer for you? $10, that's right. Merc Sniper, oh man. Woo! I'm going to give you that Ric Flair. Woo! So yeah, Mark Sniper, what do you want to know? As soon as you type it out, I will answer that. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting kind of caught up here. Let's see. Oh no, maybe I'm not. I'm lying to you guys. I'm not caught up at all. Let's see. I'm gonna come back to Merc Sniper. See what his question is in a little bit. Next in line for the IC title, I'm gonna say it's either going to bounce to AJ Styles or Sami Zayn. Jeff Hardy. I think it's going to be one of them. Definitely going to be one of them. What else do we have here? Worst backstage I've ever experienced. I'll be honest. I haven't met that many people who are jerks backstage. The Elijah Burke, which obviously wasn't a wrestling story really, would be the closest thing. But overall, I haven't really had a bad backstage experience where I'm like, wow, this guy's out of control or this guy's a jerk or anything like that. Let's see. Do I think Tony Nese was a good cruiserweight champion? No. And that's not me being mean. I just don't think, nothing happened with that. I think it's a very forgettable championship reign, and that's, not the best thing. Ninja Rick, what's going on, man? And no, it was 500. And it wasn't even 500. It was less than 500. Let me see. Did Merc Sniper? Okay, here we go. Who would win in this match? Matt Rivera versus Undertaker, Kane, Big Show, Yokozuna, Great Khali, Big Daddy V, Vader, Lars Sullivan, King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, Andre the Giant. So, Merc Sniper. Just because a handful of those people are still alive, I would say them. I would lose. I would like to tell you I would win, but I might be biting off a little more than I can chew. But maybe, you know, if I had a different mindset, I'd be like, I'll whoop all their asses at the same time, a bunch of old men. Like, it doesn't matter how tall you are. Get kicked in the knee, I'll chop you right down. Take you down 1, 2, 3, make you tap out, choke you out. Doesn't matter how big you are. You can get choked out at any second. I don't know if that's the answer you were looking for, but that might be true too. All right, let's see. What state am I in? I live in New York. New York. All right, how much money did they pay me? It was less than 500. I don't remember the exact amount, but it was less than 500. If you're just joining me, don't forget to smash that like button right now. Do it right now. What the hell are you waiting for? All right, Otis versus The Fiend. Otis would get demolished. He would get demolished. Michael B says, I thought business and marketing would be fun. Guess I was wrong. It depends on the professor. Certain classes, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool class. And then other ones, not so much. Let's see. Worst rap song of all time. There's a lot of bad rap songs. Listen, I do hip-hop music, but there are a lot of bad rap songs. Anything by Tekashi 6ix9ine is pretty bad. Back in like the mid-2000s, crunk music was really bad. Like, knock if you buck. Knock if you buck. I'm like, knock if you buck? No, shut up. Isaiah says, I should make some merch. Isaiah, if you go into the details of just about, or the description of any video of mine, you'll see I teamed with Redbubble, and we do sell merch. We do have merch. So something else that I can post on the community page in case you guys are looking for it. Flyby wants to know, do I watch anime? So I'm a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, you know. First tattoo I ever got, by the way. And I decided to eventually put like the energy aura around the Imagine symbol. But I've watched a couple other things. I'm a big fan of Steins Gate, which was like a short series. I'm a big fan of Gundam, anything Gundam. And there's a couple others, but that's just off the top of my head. Let's see here. I don't watch 205 Live either. I really don't. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Christian Reeve. There was one where like there was no locker room. We just basically had to change in a corner, like hidden. And that was terrible. I'm like, how do you not even have a locker room? It was just a bunch of wrestlers like hiding in different spots until it was our turn to wrestle. So we're like butt naked in the, not even in the back, just like hidden in a corner. It was terrible. Do I have a WWE action figure? Yeah, I have Chris Jericho. Hold up. Let's see. There we go. This is the only WWE action figure that I still have. Actually, no, I'm lying. I have The Rock somewhere from a very old version of The Rock. But yeah, I got that. Diego, what is up? Raven says Giants can be easily taken down. That's right. You can either choke them out or chop them down. Was testing to see if I can take on the Giants in wrestling. I can take on anyone in wrestling, all right? Except for maybe Brock Lesnar. First time I considered quitting. You want to know why? Is that what you're asking? The very first time was I just needed a break. I had traveled a bunch and I just needed a break. But when I took the break, I wasn't sure if I would return. And then I returned shortly before Extreme Cheapskates. Canceled 205 and Raw Underground. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of with you. Best and worst things about living in New York. Worst things, it's expensive, which is like a cheapskate's worst nightmare, right? And it is. Like, I've thought about moving so much, maybe to Florida, actually, just because it's so much money living in New York. I hate it. Best thing is the city. You have access to, like, probably one of the most popular and biggest cities in the entire world. Everyone knows about New York, you know? Let's see, Braun Strowman or Otis versus Drew McIntyre. If I had to pick, I would pick Braun Strowman versus Otis. If I could give 3 pieces of advice to aspiring wrestlers, what would they be? Work on your cardio before your first day of training. Just do your best. Cardio, 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 because you will do that first day of training no matter what and be like, Second piece of advice, listen. Because that could be the difference between life or death. Literally, someone could say, hey, we're going to do a spot. hip toss into whatever. And then you go and they go to hip toss you and you don't take it. Then all of a sudden they tear a shoulder muscle. You know, like you have to listen. So that's huge. The third piece of advice, I would say, start working on your social skills early. Like mic skills, but also social skills in terms of getting yourself more opportunities, being able to contact the promoter, talk to other wrestlers, network, because you want to be likable. Let's see. I got something in my eye. Was that weird? I think I heard my eye. It was weird, right? Let's see. All right. Let's back up a little bit. I want to make sure I get to all of your questions. We just have a few more. And in less than 10 minutes, we're going to end this thing. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you about an upcoming video. My all-time favorite Disney movie, Merc Sniper. I like that question, actually. So my favorite Disney movie, I'm a huge Disney fan, by the way, is The Jungle Book. I love the music, everything. Like, yeah, I love The Jungle Book. Search for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Let's see. I hope he gets screwed out of the... I think if Otis goes to cash in, he's going to end up losing it. Wouldn't be surprised if Tucker was the reason he lost it. All right, Naruto is the best anime. It's Dragon Ball Z. I'm not having this argument on here. It's Dragon Ball Z. Harris says he's back. Isaiah says one day you'll face me in the ring. I'll see you there. Christian Reeves says favorite YouTuber. So, confession time. I actually never really watched YouTubers at all. Even when I started my own channel here and really started putting content on there, it was one of those situations where I had to go to my friend Billy. I was like, you watch YouTubers, right? Like, what sort of things should I do? How should I do this? I don't even know. And I just kind of had to learn as I went because I was never a YouTuber until Cody Ko posted that video. And I was like, you know what? I could do something with this. I would love to talk to people on here. So I don't really have one. So my favorite YouTuber is this guy named Christian Reeve. That's my favorite YouTuber. Sammy B says, what do I eat in a day? So I usually start off my day by eating some eggs. Eat some eggs, maybe with some turkey sausage or maybe just some really light ham. For lunch, I'll usually have some sort of a smoothie or a shake. Not the typical protein shake that you saw on TLC because I can't really eat that stuff anymore. But it'll usually be with some sort of a fruit, maybe aloe. Aloe is really good for Crohn's disease. So I might throw some bananas and pineapple, maybe some mango juice, but it has to be real juice. It can't be fake juice. And then for dinner, I'll usually have, let's say, grilled chicken with, I don't know, cauliflower pasta or something like that. I know, it doesn't sound amazing, but welcome to my life. Let's see. WWE is slowly ruining The Miz. The Miz. The Miz is one of those people, he's at that point where, they use him more as a stepping stone to build other people. But I don't think he's going to want to be there forever. I think he wants more than just his one time of being, in the spotlight. What's going on, Moneybag Productions? My favorite rapper of all time. Oh, man. So I have a few. Can I give you a few? I have, I'm going to say Eminem right off the bat. I enjoyed Hopsin. Yeah, I don't know if you guys are familiar. His newest work, I'm not a huge fan of, but I really liked his work. Tech 9, I was big on for a while. I really like Ludacris. I feel Ludacris is an underrated rapper. B.O.B. I really enjoyed for a period of time. Lupe Fiasco and NF. These are just a few, I know it's all over the place, but that's just a few examples. Let's see here. Favorite year in wrestling. And Christian Reeve, do you mean as far as watching wrestling or my own personal favorite year? Do I have cheat days once in a while? Okay. So as far as cheat days go, I do. However, I shouldn't. Because one slip up, one spice, one type of oil I shouldn't have, and my stomach is messed up. It can knock me out for the rest of the day. Let's see. By God! Matt steals the Money in the Bank contract! So you really only have 2 pairs of underwear. Not anymore. I've upgraded to at least 2 packs of underwear. A week's worth. Living in Gates County is cheap. Where's Gates County? Nice Burger King crown. I appreciate that. Feeling like the king. King in the castle. King in the castle. Thoughts on James Ellsworth? Listen, He's a man with a plan, and he took advantage of an opportunity. James Ellsworth, I have like a wish list of wrestlers to face, and he is on there. Because I feel like James Ellsworth and I could probably make some really good, entertaining matches. Do I have any advice for someone who is wrestling professionally and someone who goes to college at the same time? Yes. Definitely stay up on your work. Don't let it slip. You know, don't get F's and D's. Like, go for those A's and B's. And, you know, you basically got to balance both. There's no shortcut or tip that I can give you. You just have to excel at both. Not easy, but you got to do it. A crown looks so good on you. King Corbin is now Queen Corbin. I appreciate that. Thank you. I don't think Tucker would betray Otis because he always been warming up. You see, but if he turns on him, that would be shocking because Tucker has never even like shown an ounce. I think I want to say inch and ounce at the same time. He hasn't even shown like a speck of disrespect towards Otis. So if he turns on him, it'll be like, where'd that come from? All right. California Love. And yeah, hey, those two songs are definitely up there. Definitely. Machiavelli, what's going on? The Miz needs to go to Ring of Honor. I don't know if he'd be good in Ring of Honor. Sammy B says, I'm your favorite rapper next to them. Damn right. Let's see. I am looking forward to the release of Nerds. Sammy B, he has me featuring in a song of his, and I think it's going to be cool. I'm excited for it. Christian Reeves says, my own personal favorite year. I would have to say there was one year where I wrestled a bunch of WWE legends. It was the Brooklyn show with Jimmy Superfly Snuka. That same year I wrestled Nunzio. I think that same year I wrestled Maria Kanellis. It was a really hot year for me. And it was at the point where I was really coming up on the scene in the Northeast region of wrestling. And yeah, by far, best year. I won a couple of titles. Well, actually, no. You know what's funny? That year I didn't win any titles, but it was still my favorite year just match-wise. And Gates County is in North Carolina. So Sugar Mama wants to move to North Carolina. It's a possibility. Let's see. Most painful move to take. My least favorite move to take. I can't say it's the most painful, but my least favorite move to take is a German suplex. I just get nervous that I'm going to take it too high and break my neck. So that's just a little something for you guys to know. Are you looking forward to any NYCC Funko Pops that release tomorrow? Ooh. So my Sugar Mama pre-ordered me It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia Pops. And I'm not sure if that's part of the New York Comic-Con release. But let me know if there's any that you think I would like. Let me know, because then when people are like, hey, what do you want? I'll be like, hey, check out these Pops. You can get me those if you want. All right. Oh, we're almost at the end here. Okay, here we go. Which WWE wrestler is pure trash? The Great Khali. That's always going to be my answer. Let's see. Hell in a Cell predictions. I think Randy will do it this time. If he doesn't, then he needs to stop facing Drew McIntyre, right? All right. So I'm going to stop right there because we only have a minute left. If you have any other questions, definitely save it for tomorrow. I'll be on Premiere again playing Crash Bandicoot. So join me for that or the next time we do one of these. But before you go, first of all, if you're just joining me and you haven't done it yet, please smash that like button. And in the next minute, I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, I did see the Danny Phantom, which looked pretty dope. I have a video coming up. It'll probably be either Thursday or Friday, where I am going to open up what you guys might know as the El Cheapo wrestling bag. And it's been a long time since I've opened this guy up. So I'm very curious as to what's inside. There might be a cup in there, maybe some underwear, maybe some wrestling stuff. Who knows? I'm very curious to open it up, and I want to do it in front of you guys. So it's going to be a whole video called, I don't know exactly what I'll call it, something along the lines of like opening up my wrestling bag or what's in the El Cheapo wrestling bag, something like that. Yeah, you guys might recognize this. It looks like it's seen better days. But I'm going to open it up and we'll find out what's in it together. And I'll give you, if there's any good stories about the stuff that's in it, then, yeah, it should be a good video. It should be a really good video. And on Monday, so that's going to be next Thursday or Friday, but on Monday, it's time for another Cheap Shots. If you look at the title, I named the last one Extreme Reaction, just because it's kind of better for analytics for people to find it. But it's still part of my Cheap Shots series. So, yeah, that's it. That's some stuff that's upcoming. Again, if you are interested in joining my faction, the Frugal Faction, go to my YouTube page, click join, and make it happen, Captain. Sammy B joined. That's why he's got that little penny next to his name. And he's got all those emojis right there that he just dropped. All original, custom, cheap wrestler emojis. There's one that has me in the shower where I'm like, Mom? Mom! So, yeah, if you're interested in joining, make it happen. And I'll see you guys real soon. Thank you so much for joining me. I am the cheapest wrestler in the world. This was live stream number 13. Peace!